on this Twitch stream. Aloha, Frank. Can you hear us well? We have to do our normal
Right.
pre-check. Mr. Frank. It's going to take like 15 seconds for him to reply. He said all good on the side. Okay. The YouTube should be live as well now. Let me drop the link in chat for you. There you go. Thank you. Let me check that. We started doing this practice because I use XSplit Broadcaster, and sometimes, for whatever reason, it likes to like change the settings for the audio. And there's been times where we'll like record content like, man, that was so fun what we did, and like can't wait to do it. And then we turn it on and it's just completely muted. I guess Frank said good on YT as well. Nice. Okay, well, let me separate these channels then. Cool. And that should broadcast out to folk. We got some folk. Yeah. I guess I'll share that story real quick, which directly impacted some content you created for us on D20 2024. 25? When did we do the first improv? It was 5, right? The last one?
Just last year was my first one. I was a
Last
rookie.
one. Yeah, that's right. Rookie came in strong, man. Came in strong. So we did D20 Showtime, which was our first attempt to just do some kind of like fun content in the theater just to see if we could.
And what a cool theater that was.
Oh yeah, it was super fun. That's where like the travesty happened. What up, Kothar? Woot woot, you're all on it. So we did D20 Showtime. You were our first ever GM for GMs improving a session that the audience could influence, and it was like it exceeded my expectations by a long shot. It's always nerve-wracking, right? With like, oh, new show, like hopefully it all goes well.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could not wait to get home and get the video from that and be like, we're gonna play it back, we're gonna chop it up, it's gonna be great. We used this stupid thing, the DJI, which is phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But apparently we left the face tracking on. So halfway through, or like a quarter of the way through the recording, someone got up on the right side of the theater. So like say I'm the camera and I'm looking at the stage.
Right.
Someone got up on the right side of the theater and the camera decided for whatever reason that person was the most attractive person in history and said, I'm
That
going to
was
follow. That was it. Yeah, it just followed them all the way to the right as they walked out, and then it just stayed there. So you could hear like audio and stuff going on, but like all of that, we lost like
couldn't see the
3/4.
chaos that ensued on the stage.
Yeah, which was phenomenal. Like Blast and Astrid being the chainsaw fairy,
Oh yeah.
Tim getting destroyed by like being the first one volunteering and being level 1. You did speed level him though.
He did. He kept going. I mean, it was also the audience was leveling him up. We were all leveling him up.
That's true. Well, we're gonna try it again this year, and I'm gonna see if we can get the professionals with Royal Caribbean to record it with whatever they have going on there.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be huge. Because
I know the other DMs were also, after seeing it, we're like, oh, I want to do it too. So see if we can get a few more PCs and NPCs in there.
Oh, that'd be super sweet. Yeah, because everyone's super talented. That's why we do that, I guess, which is a great segue for what the show is right here. So every week, if you haven't seen this, we interview GMs, content creators, anyone that's associated with our currently exclusive geek-related cruises, which we're expanding into normie stuff. But we get the opportunity to seek out really cool people that do amazing stuff, take them on a boat, and then share that with other people on vacation. Like GM Matterz here, who are going to explore his journey, either his origin story or villain arc. I'm not sure which way he's going to take it. On how he became a GM, to becoming a pro GM, and then ultimately ending up on the boat with us, and then seeing if he had a moon full of money, what he would build with it. So
I've got ideas.
You got ideas. I'd love to fund them. That's what we're secretly doing here, is just like taking notes. So if we ever strike it big, we'd be like, okay, we have that moon. Let's start making some stuff.
Go down the list.
Just knock it out down the list. So I guess we could start with the first one on your origin story here. Is first thing, I mean, simple question. What got you into this hobby specifically? Like, embody where you were at that time and carry us through that story.
It was the 80s, the 1980s. Young Matterz was hanging out with his brothers. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I got into D&D real early on. I don't know, like 5, 6 years old. I had an older brother, like 9 years older than me. It was amazing DM, like the best DM I've ever had.
Wow.
Had the basic set, all the AD&D books, played for hours with my brothers and his friends, and, went through the the editions up into second edition Forgotten Realms, which I totally fell in love with and played countless hours of that setting, all the way into high school, and playing with groups of friends in high school and just loving that. So
So you
yeah.
started off real young, and your brother was like, how? What's the age difference between your brother, like when you started and he started?
I have two brothers. One's 2 years older than me, and one's 9 years old.
That was the 9 year older one, the GM that recruited you into his party.
Yes, he got us involved, and we would see him playing with his friends, and we wanted to play, and every once in a while they'd let us in. And one time, his one friend like really hated our characters, so he brought us all together and had this magic item and destroyed it and TPK'd us all. Little, my brother and I, little kids, were freaking out, and they were just
Yeah.
laughing at us. Yeah.
I'm sure the
So,
sales pitch wasn't that hard, right? Like he basically said, "Hey, little brother, let's play this game. Make
yeah,
believe you could be a big hero.
yeah. I'm gonna throw some dice at you every once in a while.
Wake up, pay attention."
Yeah. Yeah, we were in it, and I was just like, yeah, just some early core memories for me, for D&D.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's super sick. So, okay, so you started super young and you had played through a lot of your life to date. So, when did you first hear the call of the GM? Like, when did you start getting curious and you said, like, you played a game, you're like, you know what, I want to take my hand at this. I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I was DMing when I was a kid, like after trying to get my older brother to play with, my brother Jelly and I, and we were like, well, let's just start doing it ourselves, like taking out the first edition DM's guide. And back there was like you could build your own dungeons just by rolling on the charts, and like
Nice.
each level you went down was like even more and more difficult. So we would just make like 4 guys each and take them into this dungeon and see how far we could go. And then like whoever survived would be our characters that we would play.
I've heard of that strategy before. So you guys like innately attempted that, or was that like a practice that some other people would do that you guys like said, "Oh, this is cool, let's do it."
We just, there wasn't any internet or anything that like forums that people were chatting on or anything. So it was just like something
No
that we,
newsletter.
yeah, right.
Yeah. The only time that I had ever heard of that was and I don't remember where it was, but it was always a unique thing. It was in the context of the Warhammer 4th edition fantasy role playing game. And they're like, this game's such a meat grinder. Like, what you do usually is like have your players build a bunch of characters, and whichever ones make it out, you run with them. So it's just really interesting to hear like you guys are just like, we're gonna meat grind our characters, and then whoever survives is the real hero.
Right, yeah, we created our meat grinder. But then in high school, I started to more really get into DMing, running lots of modules, writing my own adventures. We had like a really good core group of friends that we played some in college, and then I really kind of stepped away from the game for a while. Like I missed third and fourth edition completely. I guess it was like 2019, 2020, not even necessarily pandemic related, but I just like, I was playing some second edition. I started a new second edition campaign with some friends. I'm also a circus sideshow performer. So as part of my Living Bard title is like, I'm a house painter, I'm a musician, I'm a sideshow performer,
Everyman.
filmmaker, so all these things. So that's kind of what took me away from the game. I was doing like tons of traveling around the world in my sideshow. And then we started playing with like some of my sideshow friends. And that was second edition. But then that campaign, as many campaigns do, kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
And I started to like, okay, well, where's D&D now? Like what's going on with D&D? So I found fifth edition. And I was blown away by the advances and the changes and just
I bet. So you're saying you jumped from second to fifth?
Jumped from second to fifth. Yeah, so I totally missed third and fourth. So yeah, when I jumped into fifth edition, I was just looking at what was going on in Philly, if there was a scene for D&D, and I found Red Cap's Corner. It was right in my backyard, basically, here in West Philly. Amazing third-party space, like big downstairs with all the magic cards and D&D books and board games, and then upstairs is like just tons of tables you can come and play for free, and They had designated D&D nights and designated Magic nights and whatever else you can think of, Warhammer, all that.
Ooh.
So I did find like an adventure league going on, and so I contacted them, and they're like, "Yeah, we got spots. You'd come in and DM." So that was like I wasn't pro DMing yet at that point, but that was like my first time just like setting up. I don't know if you're familiar with warhorn.net. It's
Oh
kind of,
yeah. Yep.
yeah. So I was like, I had to make my Warhorn account. I put my game up on Warhorn, didn't have any players. And then I was like, okay, now I got to wait for people to sign up for my game. And that happened pretty quickly, and people were looking to play. So it was like, still, we had to mask up early on. Like, it was still like end of pandemic where people were just getting back into playing in person. Then I ran Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus as my first main campaign with this group. We've been playing together ever since. Now we've been playing 3 years straight every Thursday night.
Wow.
It's really an amazing group of friends, and never become great friends over the years.
And wait, so how long has this group been going on?
My Thursday night group's 3 years
3
running.
years.
We barely miss a session.
Yeah, that's a feat on its own, right? Because like you mentioned, like most games fizzle out.
We've cycled through a few different players, but like mostly there's a few players that have been with me since the beginning, and everybody, and we're still playing. Like, so those characters that we started 3 years ago are still going. We're doing Chains of Asmodeus, the 15th level and the 3rd layer of hell right now. So
oh man, yeah. So it seems like you guys are going to definitely hit well, never say definitely, but one of the few groups, one of the few groups that might make it a 20, right?
We'll say I've read so many, Reddits and forums, people being like, I don't know how you create content for, tier 3 or high level adventures. It's so broken. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm throwing some stuff at these guys that is like,
it's like you just get more opportunity to do cool things, right? With it.
I mean, sure, they get more powerful, but then you look at the book and you're looking at these CR 20 pluses, and you're, having a field day as a DM.
Yeah, you get to be creative with it. It would be interesting to know that is like, what was one of the most harrowing or cool moments that you've had as a GM through this journey so far? Like you just said, in like, this is my like core memory for GMing.
So early on, I would say with my 2nd edition stuff, there was, I lived in New York, and there was a big snow day coming in. And all my friends, we all knew it. We were like, look, it's going to snow. They're definitely going to cancel school. And I had also worked with another friend who was DMing. We would go back and forth, and we created games in the same world. And we had a bunch of villains, so we're like, look, let's just take you and I, we'll co-DM, we'll take all of our villains and have the players pick their like favorite characters. They can play 2 characters if they want.
Yeah.
And we'll do this like all night session where they face like all of their villains of all, like, like the Sinister Six, like they've come together. They're tired of it. They want to get rid of these guys, and they also want to get rid of their villains. So we played like, I don't know, maybe like close to 24 hours. Like we played, sun came up, we just kept going. Snow was piling down. So
man,
that was a really fun early core D&D memory.
Oh, yeah, that sounds amazing though.
Recently, I think it was like the end of this my Thursday table. It's not even really an end of a campaign, but it was end of like this major story arc where I had taken the Forgotten Realms Lords Alliance and turned them into like this kind of corporate fascist entity that the 2 different adventuring parties that the players had were fighting against. And I had Mordenkainen be like this, the hidden lord, or like this, the masked member
behind the throne.
On the throne, and they had dealt with him in previous, but when they finally killed him, it was actually Mordenkainen's simulacrum.
Oh.
And I drove them, and I had Mordenkainen show up and be like, I'm so sorry, like I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know the simulacrum was up to this horrible things.
Just casual evil off of like his copy and paste. Like,
it wasn't me, it was my simulacrum.
Oh man. I don't know if there's spoilers on that for your party if they're listening. But was it like, is it a feint, or did he actually not know?
Uh,
If you're in his party, cut out now. If you ever see this,
yeah, I think Morton came. He didn't really know. He was too, he's busy doing so many other things.
he's busy. Yeah, yeah. But
He's
it's
left that simulacrum
it
to.
happens all the time. Like my simulacrum right now is just running rampant in the streets. You know.
And also, I ran Tomb of Annihilation, and running that whole tomb was great. But getting that final boss fight against the Sirac
Oh yeah.
tomb was a blast.
I played part of that campaign. I regret that my party we didn't get to finish it. It just things fizzled. We had made it to the actual tomb finally, and everything else was like probably a year and some change to get to that point. And of
Yeah,
course, Asarak, what's his name?
yeah, the Sirac, Asarak.
Sirac, whatever. Yeah, yeah. So we, of course, thinking Asarak, we just kept calling him Asscrack.
Right,
So,
right.
so we took a little steam out of the or wind out of the sails on that guy, but we
Nice.
never got to finish him. So yeah, Asscrack
I
is out
mean,
there in our world.
Doom could have taken you a whole other year, maybe. It's like one of those like just epic dungeon crawls.
Yeah, the GM advised us. He was like, "It's been dangerous up to this point, but when you choose to enter the tomb, I want you to know the lethality is going to go up significantly." And we were like, "Ooh, shit!
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna get serious."
So yeah, those are some good epic moments in my D&D life.
Yeah, no, that does sound pretty epic. So okay, so started young, family dragged you in, not kicking and screaming. You had some great times like long-term GMing with a co-DM through a Blizzard. That's automatically amazing.
Yes.
And you said that you started back up with Fifth Edition at Red Cap Games or
Red Cap's Corner. Yeah,
Store
Red Cap's Corner.
through like so, but that was Adventure League, right? So you had started with Adventure League.
It was like it was Adventure League, but Adventure League's cool, but I didn't really know much about like how the system worked and people filling out the paper and being able to play in other games. So and then I was talking to some of the other DMs that were running there, and then we all realized that like none of us were actually running Adventure League. We were just running campaigns.
Yeah.
So then we developed this group called the Dice Delvers, and built this kind of collective of DMs and GMs at Red Caps, and just brought people in to find ongoing weekly campaigns.
Oh man,
So
that's sick.
I was running a Tuesday campaign and a Thursday campaign, and that's what got me into the pro DMing.
Yeah, that's where you started GMing.
I wasn't pro GMing. I Red Caps had a summer camp, so I did that. So that was my first paid DM gig. Was running a couple of weeks at a summer camp.
Okay, what was that like? The experience prepping for that? Were you nervous?
Um, it yeah, like I didn't really know if how the kids would do with like the main just going full on with all the rules, but they were like, yeah, like you don't have to sugarcoat anything. Kids from like 10 to 15 years old, somewhere in there, and they loved it and they were super receptive, and then that led to me actually running an after school program.
Oh, okay.
So I've been running games with kids now for going on 3 years, and that's been amazing. So that was so I've been basically playing D&D 4 days a week,
Oh man, that's
running
nuts.
running 4 different campaigns.
Yeah. So you're definitely when you run a game, then are you more energized after it completes, or like drained a little bit? Like, what's your vibe like?
Yeah, I usually can't. Yeah, I'm pretty energized. I usually stay up quite a while. Like take notes. I think for other DMs, I'm sure other DMs do it. Make notes when it's fresh in your head. Think about the session. Jot things down. Think toward the next session.
That's like a good way to decompress or like hash out.
I'll I make Google Docs and I break it down into scenes, and then it's like, well, I only got to scene 2 and some things change, and now so that allows me to make my doc for the next session.
It's very structured. Like I become an absolute vegetable, a whiny vegetable afterwards.
Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to think about
Yeah,
anything.
it's like a battery's gone. Like we're done here. But it is always good to like talk about it afterwards. But I like the note taking thing because like afterwards, if you don't do that, you're like, shit, what did they do in this moment? Or oh man, I forgot the scene. That's how I'm a little bit. That's where I have a lot of my like continuity issues. Is right after that.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, for
good
sure. You
good
may
advice
forget
there.
stuff. It's like really good, fresh in your mind, and you have the energy for it. If you're
Yeah,
having trouble sleeping or whatever,
yeah.
open your phone with your laptop, wherever you take your notes, and
Just
jot some
dive in.
things.
Oh,
But yeah, I
that's
think
interesting.
probably the most nervous as far as like was when I was waiting for that first table when I did the AL thing at Red Caps the first time.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know any of these people. I haven't run a fifth edition campaign. So I had quite a learning curve. And one of my dear has become a dear friend, Johnny, was knew fifth edition really well, and Johnny was great and helped me.
Oh, heck yeah.
As I
Did
was.
you met him as a player there, or was he
Yeah,
another GM?
Johnny wasn't even signed up. He just like showed up that night. Like he had heard that there was Adventure
He's like a
League.
mystical rules lawyer. He just
Yeah,
appears when you need him most. Like,
just looking around, like, what do you guys do? What do you play? And he played Kimberly the Pink Power Ranger. We designed a monk subclass for the
okay.
Power Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the cool thing. Is always like, I want to play this. How do I jam it into a
Yeah.
character?
A monk? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Power
monk. Yeah,
Rangers.
Power Rangers. I could see that. Yeah, I guess like an elemental monk, so you can get the little sparks when you hit enemies.
Yeah, I mean, we made up our own subclass for it, and that was super fun. And she was like more of a ranged monk than a
Mm,
close combat monk, but yeah, it
okay.
was cool.
This is interesting. This is probably something I should add to most of these chats with the GMs. Is like, you get one class to play for the rest of your life. What are you choosing?
I I would always go rogue early on.
We are a villain arc.
Uh, Sorcerer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
Sorcerer.
shouldn't say bard because I'm a bard, but
Well, hey, charisma based, right? Same
yeah,
thing.
sorcerer I really like that class, and that it wasn't always a class in earlier editions. So
Hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. They got added in, right? Well, what were the originals? It was like cleric.
magic user,
Oh, that was it. Just magic user.
yeah,
Just general, like yeah, you know tricks. It's like
but they were clerics, but it was the
rabbit.
wizards magic user. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, card tricks.
right.
Oh heck yeah. Okay, so Adventure League that became what is it? The Dice Delvers. Um, and then between that and us reaching out to you to go on the cruise, like how long had that progressed?
I had been so I started that like 3 years ago. So I guess I've been doing it for about a year or two. Yeah, about 2 years when you guys. I was running the after school program and running two games a week.
Yeah. And then the odd DD, like, so like you were comfortable with like the idea of like, people pay for D&D now. And you had been there since like the early days when like I'm sure you didn't. mm, How long did it take you to realize that this was becoming a profession? Like, was it the moment that you saw the AL thing, or like when did you realize like, oh man, this hobby that I've been playing since like I was a wee little lad, until you were like, oh okay, there's a
That
career.
blew, it totally blew my mind that you could make money or make a living off of being a DM. I wasn't charging for the AL stuff. It was a year after I ran the full Descent into Avernus campaign with my Thursday group,
Mm,
and then as life goes, I was like, man, this is such a commitment.
mm,
Um, I put so much time into it, and then I was, running. I did the summer camp, and I was like, well, you can get paid to play D&D. I also wanted to expand to run two campaigns because there was a lot of player demand.
yeah, yeah,
The only way that I could actually run two campaigns a week would be if I was getting compensated for it.
yeah, yeah.
So that was also a little nerve wracking to ask these players who I've been playing with for about a year, like, hey, if you guys want to continue playing, I would like to charge. I would like to make something for it.
Yeah.
And we came to $15 a player per
Mm.
session, and everybody was cool with that. Like,
Oh heck yeah, that's super
my
nice.
people at 20, I would have liked to, but it just seemed to be like not quite in the budget for people for a weekly thing. You think now you're paying $60 a month to play a game, which is kind of like
Yeah.
paying for a subscription to something.
Yeah, but it's crazy though because the amount of like bespoke work that goes into GMing, because like I could pay $15 to play World of Warcraft, but I will never get that true sense of my character, my place in the world, my impact, and then let alone like the actual like friendship that comes from it. Which I guess is what makes this very difficult, right? Because it blurs the lines heavily of like, I am your friend. We understand though that like you're paying me so I can do this, not because I want to charge you, but because I need to eat to survive.
And that was cool. I mean, I was very happy to see the response. Like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, like you should get paid for this."
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that must
so
have felt great. That must have been.
that was cool for that first table, and then I just started the second one, and then was doing the
Yeah.
extra. So that's how I got into monetizing my D&D. But I've never played online.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, and then and that if you're listening or watching and you are someone that's looking to be a pro DM, I mean, there are a lot of good options out there
Mm.
for running online games. And it seems like online games are more charged more frequently than in-person games.
Mm. Yeah.
It
Which is
seems to,
crazy. You'd imagine to be reversed.
you would think, right? But no, it seems to
Yeah.
be the norm that you pay for online games. Whereas I think there might even be a bit of the stigma for some players, and I've seen it come up on some forums where people are like, oh, paid DMs are ruining the community. They're ruining, D&D. It should be a thing for everyone. DMs are just players. There's a lot of arguments for,
Yeah.
like, oh, you shouldn't charge for. But then it's like, well, there should be something for everybody, right? If
Yeah.
you don't want to pay to play D&D, you can find it. If you want a consistent, DM who really know or GM who really knows what they're doing, it can be any system, not just D&D.
Yeah.
Then it's worth paying for it because you're going to get great communication, you're going to get consistent story, you're getting somebody who is invested in creating something for you.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, it's like no one is owed anyone else's time, right? So like, if you don't think paid GM should exist or they're just players with a different twist, it's like that's fair. But you like become the GM, go play for free, do whatever you need to do, right? Like it's as simple as that. But most
Yeah,
people won't go that far. They'll be like, yeah, don't charge, but then they won't pick up that Dungeon Master's manual.
right, right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why I love that. We have. I mean, for people that don't know, that end up seeing this, our name is Event.Cruises because we do events on cruise ships. This one particular, the D20 cruise, we find people like GM Matterz that have experience bring you on the cruise, pair you with other players. So when you're doing your downtime on vacation, you can play some games with like other people who really want to be there, right? Like bar entry, like to just start is it's a high bar at entry, and then the GMs as well, right? So it's like a very curated experience.
Played my first commander game.
Ah,
Uh,
did you?
yep, with some of my players late night.
Heck yeah. I only started playing it more, and I think I do like it more than standard, just from the
Nice.
variety that it
The
pushes.
first time ever playing Magic, actually.
Oh man, how
Yeah,
did you dodge that one?
I don't know. Maybe I just collected too many comic books, so I wasn't
Maybe.
collecting
Yeah,
cards.
you can only choose one paper base like money pit.
Right.
Well, that's super cool. So we're at the big question that we know how you got into DMing, GMing, pro GMing, and after the experience that you've accrued to date and the things that you like, what you don't like in the industry, no limit to money or time or access to talent. What is something that you would love to see um, in the space, or like an IP that you would love to turn into a TTRPG or your own thing? Like, what would you do given free power to make it happen to your vision?
Well, we're just specifically talking in the TTRPG realm
Yeah,
because
we have to because if I leave it open, then a lot
yeah,
of people will be like, I'm going to solve world hunger, and it's like,
yeah.
well, good answer, but
I guess for me, um, I would open up my own shop here in West Philly and be able to provide, free gaming space for, all DMs and GMs and card players and whoever else and board games, whatever. So I would definitely do that. I've been working on this uh, project called Echoes of the Veil.
Mm.
It's a hack of CBR plus PNK and based on Forge in the Dark system created by a dear friend of mine, Rafi Marhaba. And I would put a lot of funding into that and getting it distributed internationally. And I would also turn some of my own original stories, D&D stories, into film or cartoons, like
Ooh.
Critical Role's been doing, because it's proven that people love it. I mean, Mighty Nine, Vox Machina,
Oh yeah.
amazing cartoons. So I
Yeah.
would, and I'm a filmmaker too, so I would go that route to be able to
Oh
turn
heck yeah.
some
Yeah,
own
you
story.
many birds with one stone, and there was good. I was grabbing the link for the Kickstarter, which is in the chat.
Oh yeah,
But Fu ninja'd it before me, so thank you, Fu, for bringing that to the forefront. Yeah, actually, like on that point of the game, so you're working on the hack for the CBR PNK TTRPG, right? So I see Echoes of the Veil. So what? How did that happen?
happened at Red Cap's Corner. Um, I met Rafi, and Rafi was looking for play testers, so I started by just joining one of their games. Played a few of them, and didn't realize that. Well, first I had played some of the CBR PNK, and then Rafi was like, "I'm doing my own thing with it, but it involves magic."
Mm,
So it's cyberpunk, but with this, it's called the weird.
hmm,
So like all these different types of magic built into the high tech, anti-corpo setting.
yeah.
So I started play testing. Just got super into the setting, the artwork was just so brilliant, and of course, the anti-corpo punk aesthetic for me was like, hit so many points, and so I started talking to Rafi about factions for the game,
Mm,
and I've studied revolutionary movements throughout the world. And so I started writing factions. So we took real revolutions and then put them into the game mechanics and created our own faction
oh,
based.
that's super cool.
So that's how I got involved in the writing part of it. And then I just, the more we hung out, the more we talked, I started helping edit the book. And then I GM'd like an 8 session long shot run. It's interesting the way it's set up, because it's good for one shots, and CBR PNK is specifically designed for one shots. One of the cool differences with Echoes, there it is. One of the cool difference with Echoes is that it's more expanded for like we were calling long shots. So it's not like an epic long campaign like D&D, like you've got 50, 100, however many sessions you're running.
Yeah.
More 5 to 8 sessions for like
Yeah.
a expanded run.
And that's another phrase now that you've used that is like so thematic for the setting too in general. So like hack being the idea of an expansion on a setting, and then long shot to me, like whenever I think of like dystopian cyberpunk, like mercenaries on mission, is like
Yeah,
this is a long shot mission. Like it's gonna be tough, so longer mission.
yeah.
That's super sick. I mean, I'm looking at the Kickstarter in general. Like this, I got this for Christmas, and I've been like pouring over it. It comes with like a bunch of pamphlets and all that. So like when you had mentioned that you were working on this, I was like super geeking out over it. So I'm all in. I'm gonna be
I would
backing
love
that for
to.
sure.
I would love to bring it to the boat and play it.
Dude,
On
let's do it.
one of the nights with a group.
Yeah.
I'd be totally down to do that. Do
I'd
one.
I'd love to see too is maybe well we'll figure out how we could do something for like other people to like check out too. Maybe we could sneak in more theater time or something and like get other GMs or the crew, and then you could run the one shot and like show it to people and do a little Q&A on what you built here, because this is super sick. Like I love the art for it,
Yeah, and it's
and the setting.
all designed by Rafi. They were like a one person team until a few of us at Red Caps hopped on to help them out with it. But I mean, it's the amount of work they've done on it is unbelievable.
Oh, I bet. And you just enhanced it with that, because like adding in the factions really deepens the kind of world, especially like ultimately cyberpunk and dystopia settings in general, right? You're gonna have to have like really human-based conflicts for it to like impact, because otherwise it's like sword and sorceries with lasers. Otherwise,
Right.
But this
Yeah,
this
and that's
feels like
definitely
it.
what we didn't want by adding the magic in there. So we wanted to have this magic element with the technology, but
Yeah.
not be swords and sorcery in any way.
No,
So
no,
it
no,
doesn't have a vibe to it at all.
no laser sword monks, dealing in absolutes.
Right.
No, this is super cool. As a matter of fact, when this call ends, I'm totally buying in. So, and we'll figure
Yes.
out we can figure out something for the cruise itself because
So yeah,
fan.
the book should be coming out. I think we're doing a release in June. So the book isn't out yet, but we're finalizing the book and getting the proofs on the printing, and had a successful Kickstarter to get some printed. And
Heck yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Well, yeah, we'll be all for it. EOTV Echoes of the Veil.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So from doing that, do you have the like is this your first major contributed contribution to like a commercial release or
yeah.
yeah,
I have.
nice.
I haven't
Congrats.
haven't done it yet. Thank you. I haven't done any publishing yet. I wrote an epic with a few of the other DMs at Red Caps, and we ran it one time. And that was awesome. We had like 5 D&D tables all running the same game, and had them come together. We got really close to finishing it, but like a lot of projects, we didn't get it. It's something I'd like to do
Yeah.
eventually. Like we were like, oh, we got to get this published on DM's Guild.
Yeah.
This year we'll do it.
Oh man, maybe for next year we can commission you for an epic design for 2027 out of LA.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah,
Yeah, see which other GMs are willing to jump in it. But I find too is like usually you have to like appoint like one person to lead the ships because otherwise most of like the full uh, team deciding things they tend to fizzle out, right? Because you don't have the singular vision, just like debating on it. But yeah,
sure.
it seems super cool. Well, congrats on that. I mean, it already is past the kickstarting amount for what you raised, so that's going through.
Yeah,
It's criminal. We need to share this more in the chat, which is awesome. Rafi Marhaba.
yeah.
Um, cool. So you're gonna push more into hopefully either more epics or work of your own. Is there a setting that you would just love to like if you had to make your own version of a standalone TTRPG or something? What would you aim at? Like, what's your vibe that you'd go for?
Well, I've run so much Forgotten Realms, and I love it, but I'm starting to get into more settings, and I've been really digging Eberron. I got the new Age of the Artificer, and just got Last Wars maybe in that. But I was really inspired by the World Anvil folks.
Hmm.
I didn't get a chance to do any of the world building that they had
Oh yeah,
do, and I really wanted to, but I was just like, it's my first cruise, and I was just like so focused on DMing that I like didn't do too many of the other activities.
yeah,
But it did inspire me the idea of creating my own world. So I did a world building exercise with one of my kids groups,
nice.
and we developed this like really brutal world. The campaign was called Godfall,
Okay, Godfall.
and the gods and it was like the Empire versus the Vatican, but the gods were dying.
Ooh, bad time to be around to that.
Like a mystery on why the gods were dying, and the Empire and the Vatican were in some crazy war. So I would develop. I'm like, and through running it, I was like, I kind of like this world. This is cool. Like,
Yeah.
so I drew up the map of the planet, and came up with the gods, and
So this
um,
is this like modern times, futuristic, or like
no,
still in
this is definitely classic, D&D
classic?
setting. Some still like some Magitech.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did some flying
Too
ships.
too fun not to have it.
Yeah, so we had some of that stuff going on there. So I think I would develop and actually segueing into, I don't know if that was the next question or not, but so some teaser for what I'm going to run um, uh, in 2026 on the cruise. One of the campaigns is going to be um, based in that setting.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I'm all for it, man. The moment that you have like a setting book that you also want to like share, we'll buy a couple for the library and like I tell any of the GMs, we're a human enterprise. Like there's a few of us that run this kind of thing. We do it for the love of the game. So like when you have stuff to share, we're there on the Discord. Like just poke us with it, especially because you guys create such sick stuff. Like there has been zero interviews that I've done so far where I'm not like as a player, like I want that now, shoot it in
Right.
my veins, like
I mean, that's definitely one of the thing that I came away with the most from the cruise was like just hanging out with all the other DMs and just it's so inspiring and they were just so fun and so welcoming. So I'm really looking forward to
yeah,
that
we
again.
got lucky. It is cool.
But
It is
that's
kind of
not
like
one of the things that people are gravitated towards something like that.
gotta be genuine and love it, right? I mean, that's what I kind of love about it is like kind of like a summer campy vibe more than anything else. And I
really
really
fun.
love from like year one because we really like put the work on the GM's year one because we are still figuring things out. So it was like if I remember, it was 3 games a day for 3 hours a piece separated. So they had like a morning game, afternoon game, night game, which is brutal. And they let us know after the fact, but they were all champs through it. And then
Right.
we're like, okay, well, we'll adapt. And at that time, we were also doing the games just in the conference center. So it was loud and it was hot.
You know, like running games at Red Cap's Corner. I know all about running
you,
games loud.
you're
Like
like,
the
I've
park
been in the pit.
all around us, and we're like sitting in this back corner table. That's why my voice is always so scratchy and drinking
Yeah.
tea.
You got to keep it. That's your money maker. You know, you got to keep it going. You're the
Yeah.
bard. Yeah. No, that's super cool though. And then this year, each of you are going to be in the junior suite, and you should have a pre-dinner game and a post-dinner game, which is going to be great. It should be chill, and then hopefully you guys could do whatever GM shenanigans you guys are up to afterwards. I've seen they've always been welcoming and asked us as the crew to go. Usually half the crew on our side is asleep by nighttime,
Right.
and then us we have to stay up until like generally like 2 or 3 a.m. Which we then go to bed and usually see some of the GMs walking to whatever they're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, we're gonna go do sauna time, and then they just disappear somewhere on the boat. It's a great time. I love it though. Okay, so I really want to see. I guess part of this is like hoping you guys have things that you're willing to progress towards, and then I'm gonna keep checking in every year and be that annoying Jiminy Cricket. Be like, you got the project yet? You got the project
Yeah,
yet?
yeah, it matters. Have you written the campaign setting for
Yeah.
God?
Have you
yet?
done it? Yeah. Yeah. Get Godfall out now. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Thank you. GM jacuzzi time. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed that. That was
Yeah.
fun.
So cool. So for Godfall, yeah, and then you said for filmmaking, what kind of films do you generally like, or would you do? Would it be based on the settings?
Well, I've several films out there, both in documentary
Hmm.
and in horror. So
Okay, all right.
I have a horror film that got some of the worst film ever made reviews, which I'm very proud of. It's called Freak Show Apocalypse: The Unholy Sideshow.
Freak show apocalypse, and you do work as in sideshows, yeah. So like, what is? Okay, I
I'm
have to ask, what does that entail, right? So people know.
Uh, so I'm in a group called the Squidling Brothers Circus Sideshow, and it's show people, natural born freaks, self made freaks doing dangerous and amazing stunts. So sword swallowing, bed of nails,
uh,
breaking glass, and climbing machete ladder, shooting grinder sparks, eating fire, like all the classic stuff.
I never expected to hear the words machete and ladder put together.
Oh yeah, I got one of those.
You just casually, hey, you want to check out the machete ladder? Like, oh, my camera's traveling. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like been something I've been doing for about 20 years now, and has taken me throughout Europe and the U.S. and
Oh,
to
heck yeah,
Japan. So
heck
yeah,
yeah.
it's been a great run. So
We
yeah,
got
that's one of the other.
yeah, yeah. You don't hear that too often. I mean, okay, how did you get into that though? Right, like GMing is kind of like, we have steps to build it. Did you just go from like, I like nerd stuff. I'm now gonna like climb a ladder made out of machetes. Like,
Uh, it was totally unrelated to my nerd life. I was playing in a band, and we wanted to have like cool visuals
bands,
to
the gateway
go
drug.
along with. All right. Wanted to have cool visuals to go along with our music. So we had like belly dancers and fire spinners.
Oh, sick.
And my brother was working at Tower Records. Remember those places?
Yeah.
I was working at Tower Records and met this old sword swallower, this old carny named John Red Stewart. And we just got the bug from there. John taught him how to swallow swords, and and we incorporated it with our band. But then the sideshow was just like became so popular, and we were getting so many gigs out of it that we, just kind of went with that more
Leaned
than.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I had to ask because that's such a unique path for people to go. I think you're the
Yeah,
first person that I
never
met.
wasn't born into it. No, the
Yeah, you weren't from a long line
yeah,
of
it
sideshow
kind of
performers.
yeah, no, it found us.
Yeah,
I think the circus found us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So GMing and that. Have you ever tried to incorporate the two?
No,
I don't even know what that would look like. I was just like, usually it's like a blend between hobbies. Like, oh, like I like to do woodworking, so I make all of my D&D, maps out of wood. No, how does this work if you were to
I
mix the
guess you
two?
could come up with like kind of like a D&D kind of clown like character, like kind of spoof,
Yeah,
D&D characters and put that because it's also very vaudeville,
yeah.
um, variety acts. So you combine, you can make a D&D themed, sideshow burlesque night or something. I know there's a lot of
Oh,
burlesque troops do like D&D themed nights, so you
that
could do
makes
something.
sense. Well, if we ever get the opportunity, it'd be super sick to figure out that puzzle to do like a D20 Showtime, like a nighttime version, and then do something like that. Because that'd be sick. Imagine if you're like doing the same concept, except we have like interludes representing the battle of like performers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
it's real swords.
real swords, yeah. GM Tim's gonna be sweating hearing this one. I think Blast and Astrid would probably be super hyped for sure. Well, heck yeah. So we're coming up on time here. So like, is there anything else that like we can share for you, or things that we can get going on? I know we got your Kickstarter up here, Echoes of the Veil.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, if anybody's interested in the sideshow, it's squidlingbrothers.com. We also have Instagram and Facebook. For my two games that I'm running, it's going to be in the setting called the Wreck of the Manticore. So both my games are going to be nautical-ish.
oh, nice.
So Wreck of the Manticore is this like massive ship that was built in a coral reef. I got the idea from this book here. It's a base.
Uh,
They do a whole series of them.
yeah, I think they have like a brown and a blue book. I think I've used them before for like puzzles and traps.
Yeah, puzzles and traps, villains, a whole bunch of different books. So I got the name from that, but basically, it's this massive ship that a bunch of other ships have built on. It's built in a coral reef with all these glass tubes. So it's a setting above the sea and under the sea. So that'll be one of the settings that I'm running, and the other one is going to be on a cruise ship.
Oh,
Be like Spelljammer, but not your typical Spelljammer where you're like doing space battles.
yeah.
So cruise ship on an alien planet for the elite, and
Mm.
the players get to choose who they are, where they are on the ship, and it's a murder mystery.
Oh, sick.
It's like a clue, like kind of like a clue who done it.
Yeah.
And also throwing in some flashback
Yeah.
type of
What was the movie, the Murder on the Nile or something like that? Like, yeah,
yeah, so never those kind of classic,
yeah.
mystery on a boat.
Oh, heck
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, so
I'm sure they're gonna love that.
those are my two campaigns I'll be running.
Oh, good. I'm gonna have to get info on that because we're gonna start pairing players soon because we're coming
I
up.
haven't written them yet. I just have the outlines.
Okay, okay. Hey, that's all I need then. Like mostly because like what we'll end up doing is we survey each of the players and ask like, are you more interested in puzzles, combat, and then we try our best to match them like similar interests to the sessions that are being run, or at least so the party's the same.
Well, I definitely had a few players say to me that they never really liked combat before they played with me on the
Uh,
boat. So
yeah.
uh, I do like I do a really good mix of combat exploration and role play. So
Oh yeah, that what did remind me. The one question I got off track because I get excited about something. I'm just like a
all right.
dog going for a bone. Um, when we were talking about your notes after the game, I got curious and I wanted to know what you do prior to the game for setup. Like, what's your setup process like?
Well, I use a lot of miniatures, battle maps, 2D terrain. So I usually get all that stuff together, so I'm not like digging for the miniatures that I need. So I know like, okay, this is the different encounters. Then, sometimes it's a sandbox and you got to get a bunch of different miniatures together because you don't know which direction it's going to go. But I try to have that mostly set and ready. and I just like review my notes. I'm usually making notes like up until the session,
No, that it starts.
honing my
Yeah.
notes.
Do you try to like generally like do an outline for the sessions, or do you just like go? Because I've met some that are like, I have a general concept in mind and then I improv off of it, or and then other people are like, I have scenes built and we hit the story beats, or like what do you do with it?
I have scenes built. We hit the story beats, but if I have to improv and it kind of, if the player's taking a different direction, then I'm ready to go.
Switch it up and jump in. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the one thing that like always stresses me. Like I always love the idea of like I'm gonna play a game and I'm gonna do the least prep possible and I'm gonna improv it. And then every time I start, it's always like, well, I gotta make a page of notes and I got this scene. And I'm like, I'm ruining it. I'm losing what I'm trying to do.
You're improv, you want to make notes, and that was like when we did the improv show
Hmm.
on the theater. I had taken so many notes because it was the first time doing it,
Yeah.
and I showed up. I was like, "Oh, I'll memorize this," and I literally ran up to my room like 10 minutes before the show, grabbed my notes and wrote them all down.
Oh
And then
man.
have them on the podium because I was like, I want to get this right,
Yeah.
And it just like took all my nerves away. I was like, as a DM, I always have notes, so why wouldn't I have notes for this improv show?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was DMing by another name. I mean, the show went amazing. It just sucks that the camera pulled away, so we can't even really show people there. But like you were GMing for all the GMs there, and the setup like it flowed so well that even if you were nervous or you thought you like were like, oh, first time, like jitters, I phenomenal. Like so no
I think that
pressure for
was,
this year.
that was like a good example of blending my sideshow skills with DMing because emceeing and sideshow you talk a lot. It's not just doing the stunts. Like
Mm,
you're telling jokes. There's like a storyline involved with the stunt. So that was like totally natural for me to be on mic
yeah,
uh,
to run it and
on
lead it.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, it worked out beautifully. The GM, you had the robes and everything. I gotta make sure that our inflatables are still alive. They
all
got
right,
they got they got beat to hell on stage.
they did.
Yeah. So we'll talk after this at some point, probably when sales end to see like what other props and stuff we might be able to get. Because the same
Cool.
crew, like Jay's in, GM Tim, Blast and Astrid, and then
All
some
right.
of the other GMs, if they want to do NPCs, it's at your discretion how you want to run the thing from there.
Yeah, I'm sure
Um,
we all had like a couple of meetings beforehand, so I'm sure we'll get into that closer to cruise.
yeah, and figure out what fun toys we could buy or cheesy props so they can
Yeah.
cry over it as their dead fourth party member. Well, it's super great. I appreciate this, man.
Yeah.
This is a great talk, and I'm
Great to
really looking
see.
forward to this year.
Me too, man. Yeah, I'm feeling good going into year two. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Excited to see everybody, and definitely appreciate the opportunity. It's been awesome.
Heck yeah. Hopefully we'll have you on again when we go through full circle. And if you're watching this, back that Kickstarter, and you heard it here. He's going to be working on God's Fall, the setting, coming out at some point, which you'll see on the cruise, and we're going to hold him to it.
Right.
Well, thanks everyone. All right, let me